Hello everyone. In this video, we will learn about Comprehensive Lactation Management Center and Human Milk Banking. The objectives to learn today are, first and foremost, to understand why human milk is required for healthy babies as well as for sick and small babies. Secondly, to understand what is a Comprehensive Lactation Management Center, what role does it have in supporting lactation management and in human milk banking. And lastly, to understand what is the role or requirement of human milk banks in neonatal care. Mother's milk is a complete food for her baby. It is species specific, that a human mother's milk is required for the human baby, a goat's milk for its kid, a lioness's milk for its cub, and so on. It is qualitatively as well as quantitatively what is required for the baby. In addition, it has a lot of components which are required for the baby, like some anti-infective factors, oligosaccharides which work as prebiotics, lactoferrin which works as the probiotic, and many other factors which are required for the baby's complete growth, by which we mean physical growth, and development, by which we mean neuromotor development. Both the child and the neonatal mortality is impacted by early and exclusive breastfeeding. The impact is to the tune of 14% of under 5 mortality is reduced by usage of human milk or breastfeeding. This happens to be the most powerful intervention for neonatal health and survival. WHO, the World Health Organization, has ranked feeding options for infants and children. The best feeding option is mother's own milk for her biologic baby. If that is not available, the next best option is donor milk, which is pasteurized, and formula milk comes last in the order of priority. The first human milk bank was opened in 1909 in Vienna, and in India, you would be surprised to know, only 80 years later was the first milk bank opened within Mumbai. The national guidelines for lactation management have been proposed by the Ministry of Health only in the year 2017, and thereafter the milk banks have been established as comprehensive lactation management centers in different parts of the country in different states. In the national context, the framework for human milk banking, or let's better call it as comprehensive lactation management centers, has been proposed as lactation support units at all delivery points wherever birth is occurring, and there it is supposed to be that the mother's feeding is supported, lactation counseling is done. The next level is lactation management units, wherein these are at the level of NBSUs or CHCs, and even at the level of SNCUs, where the lactation is definitely supported. In addition, breast milk expression is guided so that the baby can be fed the expressed breast milk. The next level is the comprehensive lactation management centers, which should be at the level of SNCUs and at the level of medical colleges and NICUs, wherein the pumping support is provided to the mother. In addition, all the processing of human milk, including pasteurization, is done, so that this is a comprehensive place where milk can be stored, disbursed, collected, and analyzed as required. Vatsalya Matri Amrit Kosh, the National Comprehensive Lactation Management Center, was inaugurated on the 7th of June 2017 at the Lady Hardinge Medical College and associated hospitals, and it serves to function as lactation counseling center as well as lactation management in terms of, as I said earlier, collection, storage, processing, and disbursement of human milk for the needy preterm newborns. The main function of CLMC is to promote, protect, and support breastfeeding. Lactation management at CLMC involves promotion of breastfeeding among antenatal as well as postnatal mothers. Then it involves counseling of mothers regarding importance of mother's own milk and tackling lactation related problems. In addition, it involves teaching mothers to express breast milk either manually or by providing pumping support using breast pumps. Mothers of the admitted babies face various challenges to breastfeeding, and mother's own milk may not be available always. In such cases, baby can be given pasteurized donor human milk. However, one must understand that this pasteurized donor human milk should only supplement and not replace mother's own milk. Efforts to increase mother's own milk should continue simultaneously and all through, so that very soon the baby receives complete mother's own milk and does not require any PDHM support. Let's now understand the process of collection, processing, storage and disbursement of donor milk in a human milk bank. Donor mother coming to a milk bank is screened for common infections like HIV, hepatitis B, hepatitis C and syphilis. This is followed by registration of the mother. After she is registered, donation is done after obtaining informed consent. This process is completely voluntary and no incentives whatsoever are provided to the mother. If the mother refuses to donate, even if she has more than adequate milk, it is completely her wish and this is honored. Following this, the milk is expressed using breast pumps. The expressed milk is stored in refrigerator at -20 degrees Celsius. For pasteurization, the milk is thawed, it is pooled and it is pasteurized using Holder's method. After pasteurization, the milk is tested in microbiology lab and this is stored in the freezer at -20 degrees for about 3 months, extendable up to 6 months if this comes as free from pathogenic organisms. The pasteurized donor human milk is given when a prescription is received from the NICU, and this is on first in, first out basis, by which we mean the milk that was donated earlier would be the one that will be sent out to the NICU earlier and the one that comes in later goes out later. Let us now understand the process of handling this donor milk once it reaches the NICU. First and foremost is the informed consent, which is taken from the parents of the recipient in the NICU who will receive the donor milk. The doctors and nurse posted in the NICU prepare a rough prescription of donor human milk that is required for a period of next 24 hours, and it is sent to the milk bank so that the same can be disbursed a day earlier. They fill a requisition form and submit it to the CLMC. The frozen donor milk is then placed in the refrigerator in the milk kitchen within the NICU. This PDHM is used again on the same principle of first in, first out. Frozen PDHM is thawed before use in the refrigerator over 24 hours. This thawed milk can be used for the next 24 hours. We must never heat the breast milk in a microwave or over a stove. It should be allowed to thaw on its own in the refrigerator or on the counter. Do not refreeze once thawed, because this frozen milk has issues with lipid hydrolysis. Hence, you must only send a prescription for the amount that would be required for the next 24 hours. For preparing PDHM for babies, we need to take out the donor milk bottle from the refrigerator, check its labels like the date of expiry, the date on which it was pasteurized and the time of dispensing, so that you know that it has not crossed the viability timing. Measure the correct amount of milk required in a clean katori and put the milk bottle back in the refrigerator. Allow the milk to come to room temperature by placing it on the counter, and only then it should be fed to the baby. Fill the required amount of this milk in a closed syringe. Label the baby's name, date and time, and record this in the donor feeding book. Now this milk can be fed to the NICU baby either by orogastric feeding or by spoon feeding. So the take home messages or the key points are that we must remember mother's own milk is the best milk for the baby. The pasteurized donor milk is the next best option when mother's own milk is not available. Donor milk should only be used as a short-term, life-saving alternative and should not be used as a replacement for mom. The donation is always voluntary and not for commercial purposes. Donor milk is dispensed only on a prescription received from the NICU signed by the treating physician, and in all this process asepsis should be maintained following strict housekeeping protocols. We have learnt about Comprehensive Lactation Management Center, its functioning, the milk disbursement and all these aspects. But what I need to re-emphasize is that the biologic mother's milk, that is the mother's own milk, is the best for the baby and it should be taken as the golden liquid that should be fed to the baby. This is liquid gold for the baby and baby must not be deprived of mother's own milk at any cost. We have alternatives in terms of donor milk, but that always remains as the second option. It is not the best option. So we all must strive to let the baby receive mother's own milk, and for this we must work towards counseling the mother right from the antenatal period and after she has delivered the baby, so that mother is already motivated to feed her baby at every cost. Thank you.